You're born in Victorian England, sometime around the 1840s, when the city of London is bursting at the seams. Your home is a narrow brick building in a street that always smells like a mix of soot, horse dung, and river rot. The fog that rolls in every morning doesn't just hide the city, it chokes it. The people call it pea soup, thick enough to stain your clothes yellow. Inside your home, the air isn't much better. The fire smokes, the floorboards creak, and sickness never really leaves. You've lost 2 siblings before their 10th birthdays.
Huh?
The doctor said fever, but no one ever really knows what that means. When you get sick, you already know what's coming. The same chills, the same dizziness, the same priest at your bedside. There's no hospital for people like you, only prayer and patience. The doctor doesn't check your pulse with a machine. He just presses 2 fingers to your wrist, waits a few seconds, and shakes his head. Your mother cries. Your father looks away, you in their voices from far away, muffled as if you're underwater, then silence. Days later you wake up in darkness. You can't see anything, but the smell hits you first. Earth, old wood, and the faint sweetness of decay. You try to sit up, but your head bumps against something solid just inches above your face. You reach up. It's wood. Smooth in some places, splintered in others. You realize it's only a few inches from your nose. You push against it. It doesn't move. Your heart starts pounding so hard you can hear it in your ears. You shout, but the sound dies against the wooden walls. You scream again, louder this time. Still nothing. It's quiet outside. Too quiet. You pound with your fists until they hurt. You try to turn, but there's no space. Your knees hit the lid. You kick, twist, and claw until your fingers are raw, but all you feel is the coffin closing in. Your breath quickens. You can feel the air getting thinner with every gasp. The darkness presses against you. You think about your mother, about how she must have cried over you, about the men who nailed this box shut. You wonder if they could still be nearby, if they'd hear you if you screamed again. You take a deep breath, and this time you shout until your throat burns. Then you stop. There's a sound above you, a faint ding. It takes you a moment to realize it came from just above your head. You remember hearing about it once, from the neighbor whose daughter died young. Something called a safety coffin, a bell attached by string, in case you weren't as dead as the doctor thought. The idea had sounded absurd then, something for the rich to waste money on. But now, lying here, you understand why people paid for them. You feel around and finally find the string. You pull at the string as hard as you can. The bell rings again, louder this time. You pull again and again until your arm feels numb. You stop and listen. Nothing. Then, footsteps, faint at first, then closer. The earth above you shifts. You can hear shouting, muffled voices, the scrape of metal against dirt. You pull again, desperate. The sound of digging grows louder until you can almost feel the shovel's vibration through the lid. Light floods in when the coffin cracks open. You suck in air so fast it hurts. The faces above you stare down in disbelief. A gravedigger crosses himself. Someone faints, but you're alive. You cough, wheeze, cry, all at once. They lift you out, wrap you in a coat, and carry you to the chapel. You hear someone say, "Saved by the bell." The story spreads through the neighborhood within hours. By next morning, people are already talking about how you came back from the dead. They say the bell saved you, that it's a miracle. But for you, it doesn't feel like a miracle. It feels like waking from a nightmare you were buried inside. Weeks later, when you're strong enough to walk again, you pass the cemetery every day on your way to work. Every fresh grave has a small pole with a tiny bell tied to it. Sometimes, on windy nights, you hear them tinkling from your window. People say it's just the breeze, but you know better. Years pass. The safety coffins fall out of use. Doctors get better at recognizing death, and people start to trust medicine more than ropes and bells. But the phrase stays. It starts showing up in boxing matches. Fighters knocked down but saved when the round ends. Soon, it's in classrooms, offices, newspapers. Saved by the bell becomes a way to talk about any last-minute rescue, though most people never think about where it came from.